Okay, this is our second video on percentages. So you haven't seen the first one, recommend going and looking at that first just to see the basics. Okay, to start off with, we're going to have a look at how to work out the percentage of an amount, but this time we're going to include the use of a calculator. Okay, because obviously we want to try and be as efficient as possible. So if we want to calculate 6% of 397, well, recall to figure out a percentage, well, we can make it a decimal, can't we? We can just divide that by 100. So that can become 0.06, and a big word in maths is this word of, that means multiply. So we could just do 0.06 times 397. Okay, so times 397, type that into our calculator, we will get a final answer of 23.82. So obviously using a calculator is significantly more efficient. Part B, 27.3% of 6,000. So we're going to change this into a decimal. We're going to times it by 6,000, and then we're going to get our answer. If it was 27%, that would be 0.27 because we would divide it by 100. But 27.3, if we divide that by 100, that's just going to become 0.273. So we're going to type this into a calculator, 0.273 times 6,000, and I'm getting 1638. So we're now going to assume that the rest of this is going to be used with a calculator. Okay, we're now going to have a look at increasing and decreasing by a percentage. We're going to look at this in two ways, two methods. A jacket is worth £360. In a sale, the prices are 35% off. What is the sale price? So this is a reduction, this is a decrease question. The value will be less than 360. So method one is we need to figure out 35%. So 35% of 360. And we'll use a strategy, we'll change it into a decimal. Divide it by 100, okay? That's going to be 0.35, and we're going to times that by 360. So 0.35 times 360 is going to give us 126. But remember, that is how much has come off. It was 35% off. Okay, so we now need to take that off the price. So we're going to say sale price. We're going to do 360, subtract 126, and 360 subtract 126 is £234. That's method one. Method two is called the multiplier method. If we have 35% off, that means that there is, so obviously 35% off, that means that there's 65% remaining. So see, instead of figuring out the percentage and taking it off, we could just figure out 65% because that is what will be left, that will be the price. So see if we want to do the 65% method, divide it by 100, times it by the total, and you'll notice that this should come out to be the exact same in one line of working, £234. Both methods are completely accepted. Question 2. Last year in May, the average temperature was 18 degrees Celsius. This year, the temperature is 12 degrees higher. What is the new average temperature? So this is an increase question. It's higher, so it's 12 degrees higher. So it's going to be bigger than 18. Okay, so we're going to do 12% of 18. 12% of 18. 12% divided by 100, 0.12. And we're going to times it by 18. 0.12 times 18 is 2.16. So that is what it has went up by. The 12% higher is relating to 2.16. So the new temperature is going to become 18 plus, because it's gone up by 2.16 degrees. And that's going to become 20.16 degrees Celsius. That's method one. Method two is we need to think about a 12% increase. And see, if we've got a 12% increase, that would mean that there's 112% altogether, because we've increased 100% by 12%. So see, if we divide this by 100, we're going to get 1.12. And if we times this by 18, that's going to give us the value straight away, the new, with the increase involved. And if we do that, I'll just once again double check, that should become 20.16. There we go. With method 2, if it's an increase question, it's going to be 1 point something. If it was a decrease question, like in question 1, if it was a decrease question, we would be timesing by 0 point something. Okay, and last idea we want to talk about is expressing things as a percentage. Okay, so James scored 7 out of 20 in a test. What percentage is this? Okay, so differently to this, we'll do this first one, not calculator. So 7 out of 20, well, 7 out of 20. You should hopefully now be comfortable. That percent means out of 100. So we could just scale this up to be out of 100. To get from 20 to 100, we need to multiply by 5. So we need to multiply 7 by 5. So 7 out of 20 is the same as 35 out of 100. So that means that James scored 35%. Okay, so that's if the numbers are nice. In number 2, Molly scored 25 out of 35 penalty kicks. What percentage is this? So Molly scored 25 out of 35. There we go. 25 out of 35. But I can't go directly from 35 to 100. I could do some work, but it's going to be a wee bit awkward. So what we can do to make this into a percentage, we are going to use our calculator here. This fraction, we can just do the division. 25 divided by 35, and then we're just going to multiply it by 100, because remember percent means out of 100, so we just need to scale up to get the percent. So 25 divided by 35 times 100, and I'm going to round it to one decimal place, 71.4%. Okay, so there's a bit of an overview on all of percentages that we are looking at in our S1 course. Hopefully that's been helpful over the 2 videos. Thanks very much.